This government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament.
Digital ID has officially started in the UK. They've released digital ID as a way to try and make life easier for all of us.
Keir Starmer announced plans to introduce a compulsory digital ID system. This resurrection of a Blair-era idea sparked a lot of debate and public and political backlash, with politicians of all stripes distancing themselves from the idea, millions signing a petition in opposition, and public support for the idea falling in the aftermath of the announcement.
Right now, a alpha build of digital ID is being rolled around in the UK, and this is an early version of the final build of digital ID that they want to roll out across the UK by 2027. They're rolling out digital veteran cards. So the first digital ID launches today. Digital veteran ID cards are launching, and the government wants to digitize passports, driving licenses, and others by the end of 2027.
Well, there's 1.8 million veterans in the United Kingdom, and 300,000 of those veterans have a veterans card, a physical card at the moment that accesses government services. Charitable organisations use it to prove they're veterans, but also the big number of discounts that veterans get through that veterans card. This puts that veterans card digitally onto their smartphone, which means they can access things easier and quicker to prove they're a veteran and prove who they are. And that's what digitisation is all about. It's about modernising government.
There's hopes of government to digitise more IDs by the end of 2027, and you're convinced this is to make people's lives easier.
Well, of course it is, because we all use our smartphones for everyday life, whether it be for our banking apps, whether it be for holding boarding passes or train tickets, whether it just be for store loyalty card. We all have these on our phone already, so it's about making the relationship with the citizen easier and making their access to government services easier.
The government wants passports, driving licenses, national insurance cards, basically every form of government identification to be accessible by smartphones by the end of 2027. Basically, all of your identifiable details will be on a device that tracks your location 24/7. They're talking about verifying your age using the NFC within your phone in order to just tap and to confirm your details whenever you purchase age-restricted goods. The rollout of digital ID begins today with the digital veteran cards, which are available for ex-members of the armed services. So the first step in the digitization of all identification begins now. We just saw that video of the MP Ian Murray talk about the benefits of having all of your documents on your phone and how it's apparently going to make life easier. He spoke about how we all use our smartphones every day, adding that it's about making the relationship with the citizen easier and making the access to government services easier too. So again, in previous videos about digital ID, I've talked about how they'll make this proposition of digital ID being this tool of convenience, how it's going to interlink everything. You don't need to remember passwords anymore. All of your data is going to be in one spot, and this is what the MP is reiterating here. He says that you no longer have to continuously fill out your name, address, and telephone number. All you'll have to do is just scan your phone to verify your details wherever you go.
For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy and remain here illegally. But the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them.
They keep saying that these digital IDs are not going to be mandatory, but Keir Starmer has said that digital ID is going to be required for anyone to have the right to work in the UK. Think about it, right now it's just for the right to work, but then when police seize phones and your ID is going to be on there, they'll be able to immediately identify you even if you don't want to share your details with them. With the way that they are setting everything up, they're going to back everyone into a corner where the only form of identification is going to be digital ID. So while they're saying it's not going to be mandatory, well, you're going to need it to exist in the UK. They keep saying that digital ID will tackle illegal immigration. Well, that's what the national insurance number is for. If somebody who's offering jobs on the black market is ignoring the national insurance number, do you really think that they are going to take up this digital ID and they're going to stop recruiting and exploiting illegal migrants for work? If someone's willing to take up the dangerous travel to arrive into the UK illegally, do you really think that they're going to be stopped by a form of digital ID? They're saying it's about illegal immigration, but it isn't. It's always been about control. This is how digital ID is supposed to work. Having all of your government documents accessible in a Apple or Google wallet style app is the end goal. The solution is being built on similar secure technology that underpins storing payment cards on your mobile. Apparently all of this work is being done in-house by the government digital service. To use the example of Veterans ID, this would mean that the original data of who is a veteran, where they served, and all other relevant information would remain with the Ministry of Defense. Once the sign-in and verification with this data has been completed on a phone, this can be used to prove someone is a veteran and easily give them access to housing, mental health support, shopping discounts, museum entry, and other benefits the government says. And here you have a mock-up of how a digital veteran card will look like on the gov.uk1 login. And when it comes to other forms of ID, for driving licenses, the data would stay with the DVLA, passports with the Passport Office, and the national insurance number with the Department for Work and Pensions. So those who are working on the software state that this stops the creation of a single vault of everyone's personal data in one place. So apparently it'll be different databases linking up to this one single app. In order to get the card on your phone, you would need to use the phone security such as face scan, fingerprint, or a PIN code. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, there's even talk of this technology being used like a contactless payment card, where you could use the government's version of the wallet ID to tap and verify things like age-restricted products in off licenses. And this is how digital ID is being used in India as an example.
The UK is getting digital ID, but here in India, they've had it for years.
It holds the bank details, it holds every government authorities and every details of a person in it.
You trust this digital ID card?
I don't, but it's compulsory. We have to do it. There is no other option for us.
It's meant to crack down on illegal working, but also help with boring paperwork.
I find it quite secure, and it gives me a unique identification. So it helps me a lot during the legal processes.
They can track it very easily, and I think so okay, they can track us.
Does that worry you?
Yeah, a little bit. Just because they are just one click away from our information, and it's like a privacy issue.
Digital ID in India. What lessons did you take away from that conversation?
The speed with which it allows citizens here to access services, particularly financial services, is something that was recognised in our discussions, and in particular the benefits that it has brought in India.
The concern is the UK will become a papers please society. The article goes on to talk about how concerns were raised about why a compulsory digital ID was needed, who would check it, and what for. Recently, polls have shown that among Tory and Reform voters, there is a strong opposition to this digital ID policy. The Tory MP David Davis has stated that digital ID gives the state the unchecked power to digitally strip citizens naked. He adds that Starmer's scheme will be even more risky as ransomware criminals, foreign states, and other hackers will attack the strategic weak points in the one login architecture that the government is rolling out. If Starmer's government really believes that digitizing ID is going to be so beneficial and that it's a win-win for citizens and the government, then why is he making it mandatory for everyone? Surely if it was good for the citizens, then they would see the benefit in it themselves and just opt to use it instead. It's ridiculous to try and introduce something new in order to prove a right to work when a system already exists to prove that someone has a right to work in the UK. Starmer's plans for digital ID are already crumbling before his eyes.
The backlash to the digital ID announcement is a symptom of Starmer's reverse Midas touch, i.e. the idea that his endorsement of a policy makes it unpopular, even if it had public approval beforehand. Whether you support or oppose digital ID cards, you can likely see that reintroducing what has historically been a contentious policy at a time when the Prime Minister's favourability is already at an all-time low is probably a bit of a tactical misstep.
Look at this interview with this illegal worker speaking anonymously with ITV News as he states that digital ID is going to make no difference to people working illegally in the UK.
He's not allowed to work in the UK.
This man, who's originally from Pakistan, is an asylum seeker. He crossed the channel on a small boat 6 months ago, but was using someone else's details to work illegally for a food delivery firm. But we've learned he's far from alone in heading out to work against the law. This man, who we're calling Robin, says he's paid £5 per hour, less than half the minimum wage, to work cash in hand at a takeaway in northern England. He's seeking asylum after claiming he was tortured in his home country over political views.
But I don't have option. If I'm not working, how can I eat?
He lives with a relative and gets £50 per week from the government to live off.
Do you think these digital ID cards will stop people wanting to work or stop employers from getting you to work illegally?
No, never. They take advantage. We are sufferer. We are not taking any advantage. We need to survive. We are a survivor.
And there you have it. This all but confirms all of our suspicions that it was never about checking if illegal migrants have a right to work in the UK. It's their employers who are taking advantage of their circumstances, charging them exploitative rates in order to do work, and digital ID is not going to stop this. The petition to not introduce digital ID cards at the moment has over 2.8 million signatures and still counting. The government officially responded to this petition on the 2nd of October, stating that they're going to introduce digital ID anyway, and it's going to help to tackle illegal migration, and this new scheme will help to make accessing government services easier and enable wider efficiencies. The issue is they've not consulted any of us on this major change, and they are banking on people not paying attention. You've got to understand the implications. It's more than just convenience, it's a matter of controlling every aspect of your life. If you don't stop this now, we'll be sleepwalking into a dystopian surveillance state straight out of a Orwellian novel. So yeah, let me know all of your thoughts about the latest developments with digital ID, with these digital veteran cards. If there's anything that I've forgotten to mention, then let me know by continuing the discussion in the comments. And lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this one, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video.
A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.